Aloha, everyone. This is another Freedom to Feel conversation, and my guest today is Talen. She is a real life teacher, licensed marriage and family therapist. She's a coach and a podcaster as well. So, this is my brief introduction to you, John. Very, very short. The full bio will be at the end. But the question that I love asking everyone, it's still a fundamental question for me that never left me, is how would you introduce yourself? Who is Jean in this very moment?
Who am I in this very moment? Right now,
Yeah.
I am enjoying the moment of being a friend to you, someone who
Mm,
may have knowledge that you don't have, but information and friendship that says, I care, I'm interested, and I hope that I can be helpful in some way so that your day moves on in a more cheerful way, in a way that connects you with friends and with family and those that you love in a way that builds depth and longevity and strength to make it through the tough times and the easy times.
wow, that's a beautiful answer. One of the most beautiful answers I have heard in a while. Beautiful, profound, and wise. Thank you. Thank you for your presence. Speaking of depth, what is what is the depth of life? I mean, I'm just starting with this question because when I hear the word depth, like profound depth, even wisdom, but what is to reach that point of depth? What is to be, let's say, what is to know the depth of oneself and of life?
Mhm. I think you're right. Knowing yourself will help give depth to you, but knowing yourself takes a good amount of
I
courage,
lose you.
right? To be able to be real with yourself, to accept your pain and your sorrow as well as your joy. And that helps me go and know myself. I work from a Christian base, and so for me to know myself also means that I know my Creator, the God of the Bible, because I'm created like Him, and so in knowing Him, I can get to know myself better. But also, then I can go deep with other people, not being afraid of who they are and what they are and what has happened to them, because when I go deep with someone, I know that we are both visiting the space that the Creator made and that He is
Mm,
there
mm,
protecting and teaching and giving us the wisdom we need to figure out what to do with whatever circumstance or situation we're in, be it joyful or be it mucky and murky.
right, right. Wow.
Yeah.
Another beautiful answer. Wow. Yes, yes, and yes. Yeah, a billion times to that truth. So we all
Mm-hmm.
have a different understanding of what God is, so what the divine is, the sacred is. Um,
Mm-hmm.
is that possible to get to this state or spaceless space of depth if we are not in, let's say, in relationship with the divine, with God, if our understanding it's still, let's say, immature or is still
Mm-hmm.
as one of a baby? is that
Yeah.
is that possible to still be reach those depths without that understanding?
Well, I think so, because at least for me, the creator of the Bible made me. And so he knows me, and he knew me as an infant. He knew me as a 3-year-old when I got stuck in my aunt's kitchen and didn't know which way to go. He knew
Yeah.
me as a 13-year-old trying to navigate middle school, right? And he knew me when I was newly married and just had a baby. He knew all those phases. Um, and so in each one of those, I could go as deep as I was mature enough, courageous enough to go. I can revisit those phases because they're all a part of me. I'm,
Right.
as my grandchildren now say, I'm 67. I don't know if you know that there's a funny thing out there with the kids right now about 67. I'm 67. And but I'm also 65 and 64 and all of the years behind that combined. And In
Mm,
that, with those years, we now put those together to gain wisdom, to gain knowledge, to gain
mm,
skill, to gain
mm,
courage, and to change when we're like, this isn't really where I want to be. And we have then the skills and the knowledge to say, I got to make a mental shift, a behavioral shift, a spiritual shift in order to bring myself to a place that has more depth. Usually, with depth, we have stability. And stability usually makes us more mentally okay. And that makes
mm.
us usually more relationally okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Again, to that beautiful answer. What caught my attention in what you said is that, yes, we are pretty much, I mean, interpreting what you said as we are always in contact with the depth. We are living depth because we are created by God. If
Yeah.
God created everything, that means everything is as deep as God is. But perhaps some of us are not yet prepared or ready or willing to explore
Mhm.
intellectually or consciously the depth of that
Yeah.
relationship or our
Mhm.
own essence. Yeah, that makes so much
Yeah.
sense. I love what you said about the depth. Depth creates stability. So that's really the goal per se, right? If it is a destination, that's a beautiful one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Stability gives us wisdom, and stability gives us the courage to try new things, to build broader, deeper, more unique relationships. Um, it doesn't. We don't have to then bend or morph into something that somebody else wants us or expects of us.
Mm,
We can
mm,
stay our own selves and be very confident in that, even while we interact with people who are very different than us. And to
right.
me, that's what depth is we can stand steady in spite of the different things around us.
So true.
Hmm.
I love that combination of science and spirituality. And that's what you bring as a therapist, as a coach, as a woman of faith, which I would say just a woman who knows herself, basically, a person who knows herself. That's such a beautiful combination. What inspired you to become a therapist, John?
Well, when we talk about depth, I learned when I was 3 that my mom was very sick and I was with my 2 older sisters. But I was at my aunt's house and I was sort of
Yeah.
stuck in the kitchen. I didn't, at least this is where I think I was. And I
Yeah.
didn't know where everybody was. I was sort of this way, just looking around. And either an
Yeah.
aunt or a cousin came and found me and brought me into a TV room where they were watching The Wizard of Oz. Of course, I
Mm,
walked in the minute the Wicked Witch is melting. So my 3-year-old little brain learned how to freeze because that
ah,
wasn't the right place to walk into that movie. Um, but in that, the depth that I learned is a depth of how to note when you are deeply frightened and how to act like you're fine. You're fine. Everything's fine. It's okay.
mm,
And so
mm.
I could know my fear, and I practiced that well for many, many years, and nobody else knew it because I was fine. That is so
Wow.
that's one way of depth. And as I grew and grew up, and began to make friends and watch people let me move a little bit closer into my 20s and 30s. And really my 20s is when I determined the career path. But it came from understanding people being frightened and acting like they were fine. And I knew
Mm.
how to dig around that because I had done it my whole life. and, um,
Oh.
and I knew then that it was okay to go beyond that fear, go there and find it, bring it to the surface, and look at it. Do I really have to be this scared of the Wicked Witch of the West? Seriously.
Yes.
No. Do I have to be afraid of other evil things, yucky things?
Mm,
Possibly.
mm,
And what
mm,
do I want to do with that? So it's that little story way back there that gave me the courage to see that people acted well and were really frightened underneath and to not be afraid to go there.
mm. Oh, wow. That's Wow, that's the core of healing, isn't it? That's the path of
Yes.
healing. Yeah, having the courage. Yes,
Yeah.
actually that's the door to everything. That's the door to greatness, to peace, to health, to everything. Going, yeah, beyond fear. So
Yeah.
true.
The courage comes often when somebody does it with you and is not afraid. I would
Mm,
often talk about empathy. I still will talk about empathy as being willing to go into the muck of the fear of the situation with
yeah.
someone. But the difference is, I don't, if I have sympathy, if I just go there with them and sit there in the muck, okay, now we're both stuck and yucky,
Right.
okay, and messy. But if we have empathy, if we just switch it a little bit, because I've done this path a few times, so I know how to get you in the muck so we can find the treasure that's there. And now I know how to help you get out of the muck and
Right.
go take your treasure and now go on your path. You don't have to stay in
Yes.
the muck forever. Let's get our treasure that's down in there and now let's
Mm,
go move on. And that was really the enjoyment of the therapy process, was finding the treasure and then helping people have the courage to get out of the muck that they had sat in for years and
yeah.
carry their treasure out with them. You didn't sit in the muck for nothing. You went after something. Let's find it,
Right.
and then
Right.
let's take
Yeah.
it with us.
Yes. What a
Yeah,
beautiful, that's the work that you do as a therapist, obviously. Yeah, you
yeah,
just
yeah.
you're not in a you're not kind of partnering with their fear, but just become a guide. So you guide them there and out of it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Wow, that's another profound, deep subject because I have noticed that there's a lot of people that are really not willing to go there. So their fear is so, let's say, the fear, in a sense, has created their persona. They have created their
mm-hmm.
entire lives around those walls, and
Yeah.
they are not willing, ready, or able to do it. Is
Mm-hmm.
my assessment quite accurate when it comes to that? That some people are not actually ready or able to do it.
Yeah, well, ready and able. And you're right, those are two different things because we can
Yes.
be ready but not skilled. I can be ready to go hunting or to go
Yes.
swimming or to go diving in the deep blue sea. But if I don't have any swimming skills, I might just not be real smart about that, right? I might be
Yes.
ready,
Yes.
but let's have a skill or two to go with it, right?
That's it. Yes.
Okay. So, but that's where then you have somebody come alongside you who
Mm.
says, hey, I'll do it with you. So if you want to jump over, a little while ago, I was in a boat and the depth finder said that we were at 6,000 feet.
Mm.
And it was a small enough boat where I could say, wait, I've never dove in 6,000 feet. I want to do
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I know how to swim, but 6,000 feet, you know, like if you get lost in 6,000 feet, you're lost, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
just how it's going to
Yes.
be. And
Yeah.
so we just chatted for a minute because I was like, yeah, but I might never come up. What if I really dive down and never get up? And they're like, oh
Right.
no, we got you covered. That's what a therapist or a good
Mm.
friend, or in my world, Jesus
Mm.
Christ says, I will go with
Mm.
you. I will
Mm.
teach you. I will not let you get harmed. I will not
Mm.
leave you behind. That if
Yeah.
you get stuck, I will stay there and we will figure this out together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The,
Oh,
and that's what we, to me, that process of growth needs both of those components.
true. Yes, I love the way you explain the process because yes, it makes a lot of sense to me. Is being ready, but also being equipped to
Yeah.
take that step. But then
Yeah.
the third component or the third obstacle I see is the willingness. Some people are not willing
Mhm. Mhm.
to. They might be ready because suffering is just kind of obvious. They're suffering
Mhm.
day in day out. They know that's that prepares. I think suffering
Mhm.
prepares us in a sense, makes us ready for change, and at least to be open. But I see
Yeah.
that some of us are not willing to take that step still. I know that that's not the people that you work with. Obviously, they need to be, yeah, willing to do the work. So my question is, um, what happens there? Why are some people um, not willing to take the next step into growth, in their own personal growth or their own evolution as a human, into the, the realm of spirituality? Especially, I'm wondering, yeah, what would be your answer to that?
Well, when somebody has lived with a fearful identity and a fearful space of life, that is their identity. That's what their
Yeah.
body, their whole body system, mental system, perspective is. And if
Yeah.
they shed that, they think I've got nothing. I turn into a puddle of jello. I've got nothing if I shed
Right.
that. And
Right.
so gently we help them build the skills. It's sort of like we help them grow an arm that's actually functional. And then we
Mm.
help them figure out how to walk a little bit more steadily with a little bit more courage. And
Yeah.
then we help them, if I go back to my diving off into the 6,000 feet, and then we help them, I don't dive, we help them step down the ladder and just stand on the ladder in
Mm.
6,000 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, that gentleness gives
Yeah.
them the courage to change their identity, but we have to do it a little bit at a time. We have brain
Right.
pathways up here that are hardwired from all those years of living in fear,
Yeah.
and to change those is significant.
Right.
It's 3 to 6 months of continuous work and process.
Yeah.
And then for each new little shift in identity, we have another 6 to 8,
Mm.
12 months. So
Yeah.
you've been living it for 30 years. You're probably going to take another 30 to really watch yourself develop. And it's going to be fun. It's good. You're going to look
Yeah.
back and go, can't believe I was that way. I
Mm.
don't want to ever do that again.
Right.
But the,
Right.
the
Right.
road, it can be tedious. It's also deeply rewarding, really rewarding.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. Tell me about it. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I've been always open to change, open to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I speak from the perspective of some family members, some friends. Yeah, that really
Yeah.
surprised me. Yeah. But then
Hmm.
I love your suggestion of gentleness. Yeah, just with
Yeah.
yeah, no force, not forcing anything, not rushing anything. Yes.
Mhm.
That's a
Mhm.
beautiful suggestion. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as our brain becomes inflamed, we go, no, we can not, I'm not. And fear inflames just like this. If we stay really gentle and accepting and saying, what do you think is next and best? And
Yeah.
sometimes if I have them in person in a therapy session, we can just play with some Legos or we can do some coloring, and a
Mm.
little bit of body movement helps a little bit of brain movement. And that's all we're looking for is a little
Mm.
bit. It's a little
Yeah.
bit at a time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's the work of not just wise. I call them like gentle teachers. Some teachers are very rough. They just throw you in the
Mm,
ocean and say, "Okay, you
mm.
ready? Just go." Yeah, they are the rough teachers too.
Yeah.
I have met some of them. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, when I think about rough teachers, I think about, let's say, my mother. That she was, as a child, I remember she was very anxious and very violent in many ways,
Mm,
um, and she kind of taught me to observe, to pay attention to so many things at the same time, almost
mm,
like of
mm,
um, learn how to swim, yeah, in very deep waters from a very,
mm,
very young age,
mhm,
which is
mhm.
not the best way to do it, obviously, to teach
Yeah,
anyone, especially children.
yeah,
But some, I guess my mother didn't know how to teach. She didn't know how to be, a gentle teacher. So she
yeah,
just knew what she knew. And I had to
yeah.
learn from that. That
Mhm,
to me
mhm,
became a teaching. In my entire
mm,
life, it has been kind of wow, has been informed by that trauma, basically. And then
mm.
I'm trying kind of to put the pieces together, the pieces of my own
Yeah,
heart, pieces of
yes,
my own
yeah,
mind. And I mean, it
yes,
has been just an,
yes.
an incredible painful but rewarding journey.
Yes.
At the same time.
Yeah, yeah. I like how you're, I think I sort of read between the lines, but said, my mom did the best she could. She just didn't know
Yeah.
how to teach gently. She knew how to
Yeah.
teach, but she sort of just did the baptism by fire kind of thing.
Yes.
As
Yes.
opposed to try this, now try
Yeah.
that. I'll do this. This is the next step. Be careful here.
Yeah.
um,
Oh.
we give grace
Yes.
to our moms and our dads and say, that most of the time it's not intentional. It's just what they know how to do. And
Yes.
sometimes, for parents throughout the ages, parents are frightened.
Yeah.
They've never done this before. They don't know what in the heck they're doing.
That's
And
true.
that's part of why I do what I do is because I want to help parents not be
Mm.
frightened. And
Mm.
to have a plan for how they want to parent and have the skills to be able to do it. And
Yes.
make it so that they're calm within their parenting, but also so that they're calm within their marriage, so that they have
Mm.
that support between each other. When one of them's too tired, the other one can step in and say, "It's okay, I got this," because
Right.
that helps everybody's brain not be inflamed, so they can think. But it also
Yes.
teaches the kids how to work with each other and how to
Right.
cooperate.
Right.
And to me, that carries over generations down the road. That kind of learning and teaching and experiencing is such
Mm.
a value. And sort of from a little bit of your story is, gee, I would have liked that, right?
Mm. Yes.
If mom and
Yes.
dad could have been gentle and just taught me, um,
Yes.
that then maybe I could do other work that wasn't so intense and so sort of circling back around and reconfiguring.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. We just stepped in your work. Yeah, it's exactly
mhm,
what you're doing. So,
mhm,
and I know we'll talk about the DNA way. This is a program, it's a method, actually, a program that you have, us and kids
yeah,
communication program. But
yeah,
before that, I want to make a comment about, um, I mean, I know that this probably, I don't know if you get that, but in my case, it has been, what they call narcissistic personality disorder or narcissistic behavior. So,
yeah,
because I didn't know that at the time, obviously, when I was a child, and then the more I
yeah,
got to understand psychology, and
yeah,
I went spirituality and then psychology, and then I'm like, wait
yeah,
a minute, my mother, she actually displays, she has those traits, and she
yeah,
might have been. A narcissistic person, I know it's just a label, but how do you,
yeah.
is that something that you dealt with too? That's something that you encounter within this work that you do, Jen?
Yes, it is. It's a what I'm going to call a newer label. 35 years ago, we didn't hardly even speak of it.
Right.
It was
Yes.
out there, but it wasn't nearly as pervasively talked about now. And now
Yeah.
it's almost like every other person is narcissistic.
Yes.
And I don't really want to be that pessimistic about things. um,
Yeah, me too. Yes.
but that understanding of that even the narcissist is doing the best they can.
Mm,
That your
mm.
mom didn't wake up and say, I want to be mean to her.
Right. Right.
Right?
Right.
If your mom came from her own place of pain, and
Yeah.
that if we had had the time to talk with her and encourage her and help her face those fears, what we talked about early on in this
Right.
conversation, and go
Right.
deep with those, she might still have some narcissistic tendencies, but she could have softened the edges
Yeah.
if she's willing to do some of the work.
Right.
Um, Most people don't want to be mean, but narcissists don't know how to be not afraid, and they don't know how to not, I, in a gentle way, violently protect themselves.
Right.
And that's mostly what a narcissist is doing. If I talk
Yeah.
about it, I don't have it here, but those nesting dolls
Yeah.
that you have a big doll and then you
Yeah.
have another little doll, little one, little one, little one,
Mhm.
little one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now take the littlest one. He's about this tall. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's your baby. Okay. That's you as a baby. And then we're supposed to grow layers of development on top of that, right? The next
Yes. Yeah.
size one up, next size one, the next size one. Okay. Until we get sort of an adult shape around us. But now, if we have all of those layers and we
Yeah.
shake it's a little rattled, but you're not falling apart. A
Right.
narcissist is usually just the baby and they put on the big adult shell. And so
Mm.
when something bumps them, they get rattled
Yeah.
because there's no other layers there to protect them.
Oh, wow.
You see how
Yeah.
that is?
Wow. I never heard it that way. That's fascinating.
Yeah, and that I mean, if you were that little kid inside there being
Mm.
thrown around and you're 45, you'd be rattled too, right?
Yeah.
I would. It
Mm.
does so the work that we have with narcissists is this reparenting and helping them get the layers of being a healthy 4-year old, a healthy 8-year old, a healthy 12-year old, and 15-year old, and teenager, and early 20s, and a 30 something, and get their identity figured out along the way.
Yes. Yes.
That
Wow.
that and that that's hard work. It's worth the work.
Right.
Um, but that's hard
Wow.
work, and it's not the work of their children to do it for them.
Right.
It
Right.
wouldn't be your job to reparent your mom.
Right. Right.
Okay,
Mm.
that's your
Wow.
mom with us.
Yeah. I never heard it that way. So the layers, that's a perfect illustration of how it works. Yeah, the how the personality is formed, the mind basically. So
Hmm.
of the interpretation of reality and how it just kind of creates identities. Yeah. But then
Yes.
without the other layers, you just have the baby with this, this pretense or this cover up. You're just kind of protecting the baby. Wow, that makes so much sense. So what I wonder is, um, how come some of us who have been through so much, like my case, of a lot of
Hmm.
trauma, I skipped a lot of those layers too, in a sense, and
Hmm.
I was just kind of completely lost at some point.
Yeah.
How come I didn't become a narcissist? I mean, those that's really aggressive and crazy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
um,
because I could have,
well,
right? In a way.
oh, you
Yep.
could have, yes. But somewhere in your psyche and some of the people that were around you helped you develop just enough facets so that you could get some of your
Mm.
other development with you. So I'm thinking
Ah,
maybe a friend who is a little more mature than you or who came from a healthier family, maybe a
yeah.
teacher, maybe a sports coach person,
Mm.
maybe
Mm.
a personality you saw on TV that you said, I want to be like them.
Yeah.
It can come from all different places. And
Right.
you've done a lot of work as well, just within your own spiritual depth and growth, which has
Oh yeah.
helped to, my guess is, sort of make those little people, every one of those little people has a
Hmm.
different paint
Yeah.
job if you pay attention to them.
Right.
And the final one is far more elaborate than the ones before.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you've continued to develop each one of those,
Mm.
which has
Yes.
now led you to, the mature, wise woman and leader that you are.
Ah. Wow, that's very insightful. Yeah, thank you for saying that. Right, because sometimes
Yeah,
it's just a lit. We just need a little bit of guidance, a little bit of
yeah, yeah,
let's say, of support, right? And sometimes
yes,
that's all it
yeah,
takes sometimes to shift, yeah, a personality. And
yeah,
wow, that's
yeah.
such a. I mean, I just love. Yeah, I love the depth of your own work. It's
Mhm,
amazing because I love psychology too. I've been studying
yeah,
Carl Jung. I just kind of
yeah,
for some reason has been kind of for some reason I don't know. I love his work on the unconscious and the subconscious
yeah.
mind, and
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
I'm sure you're familiar with that. It's kind
Yes,
of
very familiar. Yeah, yeah,
yes, I've
yeah.
been listening to that these
Uh-huh.
days. So
Uh-huh.
talk to me about the DNA. program. So how does it work? How did you develop that? How did this
Yeah.
come to be?
The DNA program, if you go on my website, it starts with the name of Family Crazy to Family Calm, because when we work the DNA way to communicate, our family craziness mellows out into family calm. It isn't family boring, it's family
Yeah.
calm. So it doesn't like you
Yeah.
never laugh. You have a lot of fun, but it's not making you all anxious. What we're
Yeah.
looking for is for couples to really look at, what do we want our end game to look like? What are our desires? What are our dreams?
Mm,
And how are we going to do that? We have to decide. So that's our D, the dreams and decisions about
yeah.
which way are we going. Are we going to have a harsh family? Are we going to have a fun loving family? Are we going to have a really smart family? Or are we going to have a more playful family? What are we looking for?
Right.
Okay. Are we after a wealthy family, or are we after we spend our money because we're making memories instead of money? Maybe. Okay.
Mm,
But you make those decisions. And then we work three different layers of communication skills. This is the N. These are necessary skills. Okay. And that's what the N is necessary. We need connection skills. We need communication skills, speaking and listening. And then we need conflict and confusion resolution skills. And that's,
right.
how do we honor and respect and protect each other? How do we use benefit of the doubt instead of jumping to conclusions? How do we pause and slow down and say, what don't I know? And how do I find that out before I make a decision?
Right.
And
Right.
how do we stay emotionally facing each other? How do we stay
Mm,
facing towards each other? Even when we're in conflict with each other, our first energy has to be staying connected. This is where the creativity will come in
mm,
for finding a solution. And we're back to connection.
right.
That creates the end. So we have the decisions and the dreams. We have the necessary skills. And now we have to be able to apply those skills, that's the A, for any age and do it appropriately. Talking to a 2-year-old is different than talking to a 12-year-old, is different than talking to your 32-year-old spouse. And if you honor your 2-year-old the same way you honor your spouse, somebody's going to be confused, because a 2-year-old honor looks different than a 32-year-old honor. Just saying.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Sure.
I have a little picture here for you. I have this. This is
Oh
my
yeah.
childhood toy. Let's see if I can get it on my on a camera here. Okay.
Oh yeah. I can
So
see.
we have our dreams and our desires.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have to be able to connect and take care of our emotional self. That's what's down here. And we have to
Yes.
be able to listen well, hear not what's in our brain, but hear what the other person is saying, body language and words, accept that
Yeah.
as being true and valid, so that
Yeah.
we can then respond, speak clearly.
Yeah.
When we do that, we can honor, we can protect,
Mm,
we can use touch in really gentle and effective ways.
mm,
And then we can give benefit of the doubt, and we can turn towards. Now, I want you to see what happens. When we do this,
yes.
we have created our own family DNA. If you want to be different than your family of origin, these are the skills that you need. Because now, when we turn one, we turn them all. Well, I can get
Ah,
out. Get rid of my
yeah.
face here. There we
Love
go.
that.
Okay. If I cannot tip them
Mm-hmm.
over, look at us click, right? But if we get rid of
Yeah.
this, if we aren't on board with each other, a little click here, a little click there, but not nearly as effective,
Right. Right.
right? Okay. If I pull
Wow.
this one out of here, we get some of it, but we don't get all of it.
Mm,
And
yes.
so, if you want your family to
Oh,
work
mm,
well and your marriage to be effective, this is what we're after, is what is your family DNA? Don't just say it's the way my parents did it. Decide. And
mm,
then get the skills to do it. And we teach
yeah.
you those skills. We help you practice those skills. And we help you so that you don't need a marriage course and a parenting course. You need one course, one language, takes into account all personality types and sizes and shapes and all of those
Right.
kinds of things. But it becomes then very, very fun. Now, can I break down fun for you for just a second? Okay.
Oh,
Fun
yes. Absolutely.
means,
Yeah.
because you can see I like DNA, those little letter acronym
Yeah.
things. Here's the
Yes.
other one. Okay. Fun is fulfilling, unlimited in what I can experience and the conversations I can have. And it's
Mm-hmm.
naturally good. It fits our family. It's
Mm.
natural and it's fun. It's relaxing. It's not hard. We just
Right.
do, right?
Right. Oh my
And
God. I
so
love
that's a little
I
bit of
love
what we do. And so
yes, I
I,
love the presentation. Oh, I was
yeah,
not aware of it. I wanted to expand
there you
this.
go.
I want to make just want to bring something up here
Yeah.
and I can see you better too. But yeah, so I have that here. So if anyone wants to see it, in the visible way, but I really like that. So
Oh,
here, what you just spoke about, one of
yes.
them, one of my questions would be, I mean, one of the challenges for me, I think, yeah, connection. I'm very good with connecting emotional intelligence. This is something that I don't have a problem with. Communication
Mhm.
too, because I'm very truthful. So I'm all about being truthful and kind. But
Yes.
then conflict resolution. Oh, this
Hmm.
one. So
Hmm.
benefit of a doubt, that's what really is getting. So I'll remove this for a moment so I can see you here.
Yeah.
So what does it take for us to develop those skills? Because I usually use the past as my reference, like the history of somebody. If you lied to me
Mhm.
3 times, then oh, I
Mhm.
don't know if I can have the benefit of a doubt the fourth time. I'm already assuming that you lied again.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
talk to me about that.
Well,
Yeah.
you're right. Benefit of the doubt takes some wisdom, because if somebody has lied to you 4 times, there's, do I give you benefit of the doubt, and what would be the same and what would be different? And that
Right.
would be my tipping point on that, is what's the same and what would be different.
Right.
In the parenting world, we often sat down, my husband and I, and we didn't discipline quickly. We sat down and we wondered. And that's what this
Mm,
benefit of the doubt is. I wonder why that kiddo is behaving that way. Okay.
right.
I wonder what's happening in school. This is the fourth day in a row this kid is off the rails. Not usually off the
Mhm.
rails. He's not eating food, throwing things, just sort of stomping around like this isn't the norm. What's going on? So
Yes.
that what is the same, what is different?
Mhm.
What don't I know? For one
Mm,
of our kids, we paused. They were teenager. They had come home from a party. We had heard things that we were not happy about. They had broken
right.
rules that were pretty firm rules, yada, yada,
Yeah.
yada. But we kept going, wait, there's something fishy. And so we waited 2.5 days, poor kid. Be 16 and wait for your parents to decide what's up. Um,
Yes. Yes.
and we
Yeah.
went, and so we went down. We said we have to ask her questions. We don't have all the info, and we don't know if she's going to tell us the truth or not. But we at least have to see what she says.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so but therein is that we have to get more information and patience and
Mm,
courage to do that instead of
yeah.
jumping to a conclusion. We had jumped to a conclusion that she had massively broken house rules, behavior rules,
Mm,
sort of relationship rules, all sorts of things. What had happened? She said, Mom, Dad, here's the truth. I didn't do that, but I'm taking the rap. I know who did it, and I know that if they got caught, they would be kicked out of the house, like actually kicked out of the house. I know you're not going to kick me out of the house.
ah.
We looked at her like, seriously? Seriously? We had
Wow. Yeah.
parented towards generous kindness. It was a value that we pushed and taught and demonstrated. And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
here's our 16-year-old. We thought, well, we got to go back and collaborate this a little bit because, wow. And she was right. We weren't going to kick her out of the house. And the other kid would have been kicked out of the house. And
I see.
she said the thing to do is to take the rap. Our parenting shifted by us
Yeah.
pausing long enough to say, what
Mm.
don't we know?
Yeah. Oh, I
Another
love.
kiddo, much younger, but what's going on? Craziness. I finally called the teacher and said, what's going on at school? Oh, I moved her next to the naughty kid.
Yeah.
And I said, well, something's going on there because she can't get her act together at home. And the teacher
Right.
went, oh, I get that. I'll change her. She moved her the next day. I had my child back. That easy.
Right. Right.
Okay. But when I don't know something from my husband, I have to ask, what don't I know?
Yeah.
I can't just assume. I have to say, what don't I know?
Yes. I
That
love
makes
that.
sense
What
too.
a, mm, that's it. So it's looking to understand. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
understanding because we need to find. Yeah, usually some of us kind of, in my case, because my values, I think it depends on the person's values. If somebody lies to me three
Mhm.
times,
Mhm.
then it's almost like almost for sure that they will lose my respect for them.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
then I don't want to hear anymore. And I just, but then, yeah, does it depend? I'm wondering if that goes by values too. I know as a parent, you hold that value of,
Mhm.
nah, you can't give up on your child, so you got to keep
Yeah.
asking questions. What I don't know, as you said, and how can I look deeper into this? How can I look to understand? But when it comes to a relationship, I know we talk. I mean, you mentioned that the word divorce. That was something that we don't
Yeah.
want. You avoid the that creates divorce, so distress, depression, disconnection,
Yeah.
dismay, and disregard, and other things.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear from you about that too, because some people like me that has these values, and because I have
Mhm.
been and I've been through a lot of abuse, then it's
Mhm.
very important to me that I have those boundaries with other
Yeah.
people, especially my husband and people in the family. So yeah, I would love to hear from you. Like, yeah, my values are so strong now, and I don't want it to be flexible when it comes to that.
Mhm.
At least with my
Well, I
husband.
think you can have strong values and still be
Yeah.
gentle. You can have
Mm,
strong values and still be curious. Okay. I
yes.
would hold truth as a very high value. Okay. It keeps things steady and keeps things vulnerable. But when
Yeah.
somebody is lying, then I begin to um, want to find a way, if I could, if I have enough compassion and courage, to
Right.
say, I like that answer. That you would like to come with me, that you'd like to do this with me. The last two times you haven't showed up and you've made some reason for it. And so, one, I don't know if I really believe you. And two, I don't know really the reason for why it's happening. And I would
Yeah.
like to understand it. I don't really want to judge it. I just want to understand it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can make my own decision about whether or not this time I'm going to have
Mm,
the courage to trust you, but I can't make that decision well if I don't understand it.
yes.
Sometimes when we're that gentle, people can be a little more vulnerable and they can say,
Mm,
you
mm,
are a very strong woman, and I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint you. And so when I
mm.
say yes, it's because I don't want to disappoint you. But when it comes to actually doing it, I'm too afraid I'm going to disappoint you and I back out.
Yeah.
Now that's a different conversation, right?
True. Yeah. Mm,
Okay, because now you can say, I'm not nearly as strong as what you think I am, girl. Okay, and
yeah.
really, I just wanted us to go and experience that together. I don't think you disappoint me. The disappointment is in you not joining me, not in whether or not you're perfect enough or smart enough. Now we have two friends being vulnerable and gentle,
Yes.
and they
Yes.
relax. And you can go laugh and play and learn and go deep and be
Yeah.
frivolous all at the same time.
Mm, so true. I love you. I mean, I love everything about you. I love everything about the way you I mean, I take this from your own experience too. It's not just from reading books and like
Yeah.
knowledge that's not attached to experience. I can feel it that you've been doing this work yourself
Mhm.
around your family, and that's
Yeah.
truly valuable. And yes, I love that bringing that decision, like, okay, if I have enough information, if I can, if I can have a conversation that's dishonest and vulnerable
Mhm.
with somebody else about that fourth, you know, kind of
Yeah.
lie,
Yeah.
then it's yeah, that's my decision. Now I have the choice to continue with that relationship or not. So
Mhm.
yeah, I like that, and that gives me that sense of I mean, not just empowerment to power, but
Yeah.
has to do with inner power. I need to protect something that I now hold with so much kind of sacred. You know, that
Mhm.
place, my heart and my
Mhm.
intentions with others.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
can't. Yeah, it's something that I'm not willing to compromise anymore.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I love your approach of kind of getting to, yeah, to understand better. Yeah, and when I say that, I'm very patient, and I usually give
Yeah.
people like a lot more. They usually, when I have these kind of conversations with them, they probably lie to me about 10 times or maybe even more than that. So I'm
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
just, yeah, I give them the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Well, it
so
takes
let me
courage to
see.
tell the truth.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, Sean. Yes, please.
No, Joe just said it just takes courage to tell the truth. And when you've been practicing lying, means you need protection. And so to tell the
Yes.
truth means they really have to trust the other person. And in a marriage is when
Mm,
somebody's been lying and half truthful, that learning, I have to trust that you will still like me, even
mm,
though, I
mm,
did this, even though I took the squirreled away money, even though I got another speeding ticket, will you still like me? Um,
mm.
you
Oh,
just have to.
wow. Yeah, that's a different perspective again, like a very insightful one, where for somebody to tell you the truth, they have to trust you in the first place
Yes.
because fear will
Those,
prevent them, right, of you. If
mhm. Oh,
they're afraid,
absolutely.
like strong
Mhm.
women or strong men or strong, yeah, they
Mhm.
might. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Even
Mm.
strong-willed children will lie.
Oh,
They got to know that their mom and dad likes them being strong and determined and pushy and a little courageous or stupid, um, a little dangerous in what they're doing. Um, but even the
wow.
kiddos want to know: Do you like me? Do you trust me? Um, you got my back even when I'm naughty. Mhm.
Yes, that makes so
Yeah.
much sense. So what we are trying to do here is kind of soften the wall of fear in
Mhm.
relationships, right,
Yeah.
Jean? So people are
Yeah.
not afraid, that we have these values that are so
Mhm.
these high standards that no one can really ever um, match, right? Match up to it.
Yeah.
So I see what you mean. In some of us who have been hurt, we do have high standards, and
Yeah.
we kind of, yeah. And I'm seeing that now. That's so interesting. It's almost like
Mhm.
a coaching session. So thank you.
Oh, I'm
Wow.
glad you're learning. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, quite
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Mhm.
So the question that comes to me, like it's an open question,
Mhm.
how do you define love these days? What is love to you?
Um, well, people could talk about unconditional love or conditional love. In my world,
Yeah,
there is no conditional love. If it's conditional, it's not love.
right.
Love is taking someone, accepting someone as they are and who they are, and not being frightened of them, not being
Yes.
frightened of how they might impact you. If you have your own identity and your own set of values, then being able to love someone, to see their perspective, to not be afraid to go where they want to go
Yeah.
emotionally and mentally. I mean, let's not do things that are illegal or dangerous or stupid or harmful. Um,
Right.
but to just say that is how they are.
Mm.
And when I'm with them, I'm going to enjoy that part of life. They bring to me spice. I don't bring other places.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are really quiet. I have to learn how to be more introspective with them and be more willing to sit with silence.
Mm.
Okay. And I get antsy doing that. They just ask my children. I don't sit still very long. I am always doing something. They leave me for babysitting and they come home with a clean house because I'm bored. I got to go do something. Okay. But
Right.
not everybody wants to do that. And I have to learn how to sit still.
Right.
Okay. We have to sit, just love is just saying, that is who you are. And I'm going to honor that and respect that and enjoy it. It's the enjoyment.
Mm.
When we
Mm.
relax with it, then it's fun. It's fulfilling. It's unlimited. It's naturally good. It's fun.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
love make sense to you?
It does. Yeah. It
Yeah.
very much does. Yeah. Hmm.
When Jesus
Yes.
says he loves me, he says he will never leave me. He will never forsake me. He doesn't reject me. In my stupidest moments, in my most shameful moments, he doesn't go, I'm out. I'll see you later when you're perfect. He says,
Yeah.
I'm right here with you and you're in a ditch and I'm going to love you right the way through out of it. Here we go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love has forgiveness in it and it has perspective and um, it has a willingness to see things from different angles. It doesn't
Mm.
hold grudges. Okay. It
Mm.
wants to pass on joy and give people courage and strength. Does that make
Wow.
sense to you? It's a lot of words of
That's
love. But
that's beautiful. That's truly beautiful, and I also love that you, in a way, it's beyond belief. Actually, it's not a belief system. It sounds to me is more the embodiment of that. That we
yeah,
can be more like Jesus. Basically,
yeah.
humans are not different from Jesus. We can't love like he did. And that's quite profound if we can
Mhm,
do that.
mhm.
Most people don't
Yes.
believe that. Yeah, most people
Oh,
don't believe we can love like Jesus. And that's the
oh,
contradiction there.
yeah, yeah. Well, in my world, Jesus says, when I let him come into my heart and my being, he's going to help me become like him. And
Mm.
I accepted Jesus when I was 5 and said, Jesus, come and live in my heart. Now, I haven't done it perfectly all the rest of the years of my life. Um, but when I was 5, I had lost my black patent leather shoes. And we were supposed to go to church at night, and I was scared because I couldn't find them. And so I told Jesus, if you help me find my black patent leather shoes, I'll follow you the rest of my life. Well, my black patent leather shoes were, of course, right underneath the chair, right? They weren't that lost. But
Yeah.
that decision stuck. And Jesus came and moved within my heart and my mind. And that
Mm.
spiritual activity is a real thing.
Mm.
Helping me
Wow. Wow.
see what Jesus sees, do what Jesus does, love like Jesus loves. I'm not perfect at it. I can tell you that, but that is my goal.
Mm.
And
Yes.
I've been practicing that for 62 of my 67 years.
Yes. I can feel that, I can see that, I can
Yeah,
hear that, I can tweet that. It's like almost like the resonance
yeah,
is in the
yeah,
transmission too. So yeah, it's
yeah.
a feeling too. And I love the
Oh,
way you call it
absolutely.
this spiritual activity. Yeah, that's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
still here. It's always bringing you
Mhm.
back home, back to the
Yeah.
teachings of Jesus. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. I have to say. Yeah, because spirituality, it's now Christianity, whatever religion that we choose, not just a concept. It cannot be just an intellectual understanding, right,
No,
John?
it doesn't
It
change
has
your
to be
heart.
about, right,
Yeah. Yeah.
right. It
Hmm.
has to be a
Hmm.
living thing.
Yes.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much for being you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the
Yeah.
teachings,
Yeah.
for the transmission of that love,
Hmm.
for being faithful to it. That's like this beyond alignment. It's like this loyalty to something that you know it's real. It's the only thing that is real actually.
Yeah,
It's that
yeah,
spiritual activity that you mentioned. To
yeah.
me, is
That
the
it's
only thing that is
vibrantly
real.
real to me,
Yeah,
and is vibrantly real to anybody who wants to incorporate it in their life.
right.
But
Yeah.
it
How
makes life fun. That's for sure.
it really, really, really does. I absolutely agree. And that's why I started with spirituality. And then later on, I'm just learning psychology and understanding the parts of us that have been hurt and all that. But I needed to see the big picture of what we call life. What is it that holds all
Yeah,
this together? And that
yeah,
is that unconditional love. Yeah. That
yeah.
is the teachings of Jesus, right on.
Mhm.
It's right there.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely.
with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
truth.
yes.
Oh
Mhm.
my God, John. Yeah, I could talk to you forever. We are almost at the end of the conversation. I want to mention your services. So, family crazy to family calm. This is the DNA way to communicate. This is your program. And then you also have the Us and Kids podcast. And you offer a coaching call, 45 minutes for those who are interested. And the website, it's usandkids.com. Did I miss
Yes.
anything, John?
No, the website has some fun things on it. It has a quiz if you want a little checkup on how is my marriage. The quiz is on the front page, and with the quiz comes some emails afterwards to help you do some micro connections. Because from if you're connected, you can communicate better. If you can communicate better, you can conflict and confusion resolutionize better. And so those are just freebies, just to give you a little boost. Conversations, first conversations are always free, and they're up to 45 or 60 minutes. But if you only want to talk for 20, we could do that too. Whatever works for you. Mhm.
Yes, how wonderful.
Just,
Thank you for your
mhm.
generosity. I would love to
Yeah.
do that test. How is my
Mhm.
marriage though going?
Mhm.
I need that test, that assessment. So before we say goodbye for today, I want to thank you again for your beautiful presence in our reality in this world, which we call life, we call physical life. But I love your spiritual presence here. We do need that light. But
Mhm.
before we say goodbye again, is there anything that you left unsaid? Is there? How would you like to finish and this conversations? Any final thoughts, Sean?
I just want to encourage you, those that you know and love, and the listeners out there to not be afraid to grow and to learn. Being married with kids, which is where my first focus is one of the most challenging things. Birth and death and marriage all fall in the same levels of stress. So,
Yes.
thinking that you know how to do it by yourself can be a nice idea. Take care of the ouches and the bumps before they become big. That means connect with me and let's just talk through what the little things are so that they don't become big. We can do it, and it makes life a whole lot smoother as you parent and you stay married forever with joy and with a lot of fun. I've really
Mm.
enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so very, very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Me too. Me too. Thank you so much. Bye for now, dear John. Take
Mhm.
good care of yourself. Bye.
Yes, thank you. You too.